What's going on, people? Welcome back to another video from PremPods. Today we're going over game week 6 in the English Premier League. Big games this week.
Massive games.
Starts off with a cracker as well.
Yeah.
Another very good 12:30 kickoff.
Yes.
Newcastle against Manchester City.
Massive game, mate.
St James's Park. They're back at home. We always like Newcastle whenever they're at home.
We do like them at home.
Normally fade them when they're away, which I didn't do last week. And it cost me.
City boy.
But back at home.
Back at home.
City without Rodri, potentially without De Bruyne. It could be they might take a lot of frustration from the Arsenal game last week.
Definitely.
But again, I suppose they'll be happy enough with not losing the game at least.
For sure.
I'm going to just stick my neck out and I'm going with a 2-1 Newcastle win.
Bosh. Why are you copying me? I've got the exact same thing.
Leave him alone. He's only copying you like he always does. You behave, he'll behave.
I said 2-1 Newcastle. Yeah. Just because I can't back City anymore, innit? I can't back them.
It's not that. It's just we normally do like Newcastle at home.
I love them at home.
In these games, in big games, the crowd is, we always give them credit because they are up on their feet for the most part.
Definitely.
Cheering the team on, which is exactly what you need in these big games. We need it in every game, of course. But it just seems to have it a bit more in these tasty fixtures. I'm going with Newcastle 2-1. I have to. I just think Rodri being out could be very damaging to City's season.
It is. It's gonna be very, very tough for them to get over games like this. Other games, not playing people in the top 6 that finished in the top 6 last year, will probably be a bit easier. They can swap and change, but these games are difficult at the best of times, isn't it? Yep. With KDB and Rodri, there's no doubt they're the best team in the league. Potentially one of the best teams in the world, isn't it? But without KDB and Rodri, they drop drastically. They're still very, very good.
Yeah.
But you've seen how drastic it was. If we didn't get that red card, then game's different, innit? But it's just a massive drop-off in it, not having KDB and not having Rodri. So, especially Rodri. Like, you can still have creative players. Phil Foden, Bernardo Silva, you've got Gundogan, you've got loads of different people that can do the type of KDB sort of passes and roles in it. Not as good, but still up there. But Rodri, there ain't no one in that team that can do that. There's not many people in the world that can do that. So, it's not really... Yeah, it's not looking good for them, to be honest with you, which is why I'm back in Newcastle. I think early blip, I think City will bottle it, mate. I don't think they've... If they beat Newcastle away, then I'll think about how I start predicting City fixtures for the rest of the Premier League in it. But I honestly think they're going to lose. I can't see them beating them.
It's more of a hopeful one from my side because they have definitely got that mentality and strength within the team to just go out and just be like, yeah, we're without Rodri. We've got a big game again away this time.
Yeah, it don't matter.
Don't matter. This is what we do. This is why we've won Premier League after Premier League.
100%.
So 100%. I could easily see City just saying it's not going to matter. I mean, obviously inside it is, but we're not going to show that. We're still going to go out and batter teams, dominate games, and they could easily do that against Newcastle. I'm just more hoping for the opposite.
I'm hoping as well. But yeah, both of us have gone 2-1.
Yeah.
Fair play, mate. On to the second game. Well, whatever way you want to look at it, it's a 3 o'clock kickoff. But we'll go with Arsenal first because we're alphabetically first. Arsenal are hosting Leicester at the Emirates Stadium, mate. What do you think for this one?
Yeah, convincing Arsenal win. You've got that defence as well now, where even if your strikers ain't doing too well, you're not going to leak that many goals.
Nah.
So, yeah. I've got a lot of faith in your defence, way more than the attack. Obviously, you've got Saka and Martinelli, who isn't being very profitable or profligate with goals, however you like to put it, or assists even. And Havertz, I'm never really convinced on at all. So, at the moment, the attack for Arsenal looks weak compared to the defence.
Yeah.
In a sense. I still think easy 3-0 win.
Bosh.
Yeah.
Same again, man.
Yeah.
Same again, Tom.
I just think brilliant performance and mentality wise, honestly, against City. You have to put all the things into perspective. You went 1-0 down. The game changed completely. The game changed even more so when Rodri went off.
Yeah.
2-1 back at half time.
Yeah.
Trossard just silly, honestly. After seeing what Rice got sent off for
Yeah.
a couple of games before, just stupidity. Creates again from there. You're looking like in charge of that game, really. Of course, you're gonna have to soak up some pressure from City and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the confidence went through the roof.
Oh, definitely. It's a tough one. I've gone the exact same score again, mate. I said 3-0 Arsenal.
Bosh.
I don't think they'll score against us.
It's
The
me
defense
too.
is super, super strong. Like you say, it's just up to the attack now to make the difference.
Yeah.
For me, Jesus, Havertz, people like Trossard, in my opinion, like, yes, they fit in the system, but they're not what I want to see at Arsenal in it. Like, they've done a good job over the past couple of years, but they're not at that level in it. Like, Havertz' output, brilliant. I can't fault him for the output, but just the player. I don't want to see these players at the Emirates in it. They're not like, I don't know. He's a big geezer, and I don't mind them not being there, but it's just for me in it. It's just a personal opinion against these players.
fair.
But I still think we'll have enough to beat Leicester. We've had enough to beat them when they were champions of the league, when they were in the Premier League years ago as well.
Yep.
So I don't really see how they can do us over at the Emirates, to be honest with you. So I'm getting an easy 3-0 win for us as well.
Same score again.
Same score again. Hopefully we change it on the third fixture in it. Third time lucky.
Yeah.
Brentford hosting West Ham.
I
Again,
think we
G-Tech,
might-
innit?
I think we might have the same one again. It'll be
Oh,
fun.
please don't. I'll basically... I think this is going to be a draw. Just because without Wissa, Brentford are a different... Like, they're totally different output in it. Like, their heart is... Wissa runs in behind people and can collect the ball short. And Buemo only goes to collect the ball short in it. He doesn't really run in behind that much in it. So I think it's going to be difficult for them to get behind West Ham's defence. And, like we say, Souček in these games is going to be important. Although he's not like the most sparkly footballer, he'll do all the dirty work in it, which won't allow Brentford to get in. So I've gone 1-1 in this one.
Bosh.
I mean, if he starts as well, that's the thing. They've been playing with different players.
Yeah, it's
at the
true.
moment.
It's true.
He might get back into the team because of the performance from the midfield
Yes.
against Chelsea,
Definitely.
which is way too easy. Passive as well.
You're making this way too easy.
And a few of them did get dragged, I think, after about 50, 60 minutes anyway.
They did.
So yeah, you could easily see Souček back in. I went with a draw as well.
You say 1-1 or 2-2?
Desmond.
Oh, you gone Desmond.
This is my first Desmond.
At least we've gone different
Yeah.
correct score.
London derby, I think they can both cause each other a lot of problems.
Yes, for
We
sure.
could be seeing, just because, and like you said, you touched on with Souček, you could be seeing a couple of set piece goals in this game, I think. From both sides, they both got good threats.
Yes.
Yeah, on set
Very
pieces.
big players.
The defenders for West Ham, Kilman,
Kuhlman's big, yeah. Zuma's
gets
big.
involved a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Souček, as you say, with the midfield.
Massive.
They've got the Alvarez.
Yeah.
They've got a couple of big players that can cause problems from set pieces.
Mhm.
And then the same side with Brentford. Ayer, both of this. Who's the other centre back?
For Brentford.
Ben Mee,
Ben
sorry.
Mee, yeah.
Always good, always a threat on set pieces. So I'm expecting a couple of goals directly from that.
I get you. That's probably how the goals are going to come, to be fair. Set plays, corners, free kicks, maybe a pen.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, like many Premier League games where teams are quite close, it's quite hard for me to pick a winner, to be honest with you, which is why we picked draw.
Yeah.
So
I
1-1,
said
2-2.
Yeah.
We've gone same
Same to same.
score, not same score, same result, but not the same
That's
score
really
this time.
Nearly.
Let's hope it's drastically different for this game. Mate, Chelsea against Brighton. This is a very, very good game on paper, but one of them games that could be 0-0. I don't think it will be, because I hope, like we've said in this Premier League, there's going to be a lot of goals this year.
Yeah.
We think that, and it was proven again last week. Loads of goals last week. One or maybe, I think there was only 3 teams that didn't score a goal. I think everyone nearly scored in all the games.
It came in one game as well, in Palace
Yeah.
United.
Exactly. So loads and loads of goals. So I'm saying for this one, it's a bit tough. I've gone 3-2 Brighton.
Bosh.
Just because that has been the score in the reverse fixture last season. At Chelsea as well, I believe it was. Could have been at Brighton, but it was 3-2 in the last game that they played each other in the Premier League. And I just think Brighton are going to turn it around. I just honestly think they're going to beat Chelsea. Both of the clubs have good people that can score goals. Welbeck, for me, I don't know what drugs this geezer's taken, yeah? Or has he taken Jurgen Klopp's asthma pumps?
Might
But
be.
the geezer moves about the box like he's 19 again. Picking up the ball, giving 1-2s, moving about.
Yeah.
Last season, the geezer was so rigid. And you didn't see him score that many goals. This season, I think he's already outscored himself. He scored so many goals and been involved in so much goal involvement.
Yeah.
I honestly think they'll get over the line against Chelsea.
It's
a
a tough one. This is
Tough.
probably one of the. Again, actually, we'll go through the rest of them, but always they're tough to pick in the Prem nowadays. But
Now, yeah.
more with your Cities and your Arsenal games, normally it's a bit easier. But this is very difficult.
I was close to Desmond.
Yeah, I was thinking about that as well. It's a difficult one, honestly. This is probably going to be the hardest one to pick.
Well, I think there's one
There
more.
is some.
There's
There's more
one
difficult
harder one
ones
than
to get
this.
along the
I
line as
think.
well, but yeah, even just looking at like Chelsea's record, they normally fare pretty well against Brighton. Brighton
They do well, but like we say, form in.
different. That was a different Chelsea.
That's what I mean. Exactly that. That's why I'm kind of thinking Brighton.
I'm gonna go with a big one again. 3-3.
3-3. Yeah, that's brilliant. 3-3. Yeah, to be fair, they both got people that can score. Like we're saying, Chelsea again undoubtedly have loads of talent. It's just whether or not Cole Palmer actually shows up. Like the geezer drifts in and out of games. When he's there, I can't fault him. Brilliant player. But when he's not, he's missing. But he's a CAM, isn't it? So it's difficult.
That can happen in their position.
It can definitely.
3-3. Yeah, it's a really difficult one.
Nah, this is definitely up there with the hardest ones to pick this week for sure. Definitely
Not too much to be said on that one.
Nah, it's tough. Definitely tough. Let's see. Come on, Brighton.
Come on, lads.
Oh, your favourite club back at Goodison Park against the boys from London. The boys from London have to go up to Liverpool.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, there's loads of people that always come down, and we're always talking about the journey down.
Yeah.
It applies to the journey up.
Of course.
But I honestly just think Palace are going to have too much for Everton. As long as Eze switches on, as long as the players at the back don't turn off and actually stay aware of what's in front of them, I don't really think Everton can cause them too many problems. I'll say that, they win 4-0. But I've gone 2-1 Palace.
Bosh.
I've gone the opposite score for Everton.
Bosh.
Back in Everton twice in a row should be a sin.
That's a pretty big sin.
Oh,
me.
for you, definitely.
Because it barely ever happens. But I feel like, again, they'd be disappointed not to get a win against Leicester last time out.
They will.
Back at home, I don't know, I just think these type of games Palace can just get wrong at times. And it does happen. Like now at the moment with the form that both teams are in and how they're playing performance-wise, you would back Palace.
Yes.
You'd back Palace.
Yeah.
I would normally back Palace, but they do have these weird games. And like you're saying, Everton win 4-0. You know, that's just...
Weird, isn't it?
Yeah, but I've gone with 2-1. Everton home advantage. That's my main reason behind it. And they've got to win eventually.
Fair play. It's a
They've
tough
got to
one.
win
This game's very... Yeah, for me, it's a tough one. I'm just going with Palace just because I think they've got that bit of star quality in Eze, which is one player. And if he don't turn up, my thing is null and void. Everton might just smash them.
The thing is, Everton have got into good position, so it was just about holding on to it. They've been 2-0 up against Bournemouth, been 2-0 up against Villa. So they've been in good positions. You just have to control them better.
Bit more composure, definitely. Bit more composure at Goodison. Let's hope they do it. Let's get some points for Everton.
They need it, mate.
They definitely do need it. On to the next one. We have got Nottingham Forest against Fulham, which I think is one of the toughest to predict, just based on both teams' form.
Yeah.
You've got Fulham who've come into this with brilliant form, beating teams at home, left, right and centre, and you've got Forest who just beat Liverpool. Although didn't go that well the other week. They got a man sent off and it was 2-2.
Yeah.
Good little game that was. But I think this is tough, man. I've gone solely based off the fact that Forest are at home and they like playing at home.
You know how much they love it there.
And it helps them definitely when their fans are there. Only thing that's worrying me is no Morgan Gibbs-White. Is it Morgan Gibbs-White?
Yeah,
he
got
Morgan
sent off, innit?
Yeah.
He got sent
Red card. So that's
That
the only
is-
thing that's worrying me. And Fulham's team are pretty strong. But saying all of that, I've gone 2-1 Forest.
Bosh.
I knew you was. I knew you was. I'm going 3-1 Fulham.
Bosh.
Yeah. I wouldn't. I don't. Yeah, don't
I
disagree.
bet against them against Newcastle last time out against my better judgment of Newcastle being poor away.
Mm-hmm.
Thought maybe they've got over that hump, but no. And Fulham swept them aside pretty well.
Yep.
And they should look at it as this is a game that we should win.
Yes.
We should. Forest can be looking at themselves as a team just above relegation, mid-table.
Mm-hmm.
Fulham are now trying to get top half and onwards. So this is a game they have to win.
It's true.
And they should look at themselves, look left and right, see who's next to them, compare it to the other team and feel like if we're switched on, we're going to win this game. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Obviously, fans, like you say, and stuff like that can add a bit of that extra 10% for the Forest players. But I still think Fulham should have enough to get past them, man.
Fair enough.
And well.
Fair enough. I do think Fulham have got a better team, and the fact that Morgan Gibbs is not there, I'm just going
That's
with
what I'm
Forest because
saying,
it's tough.
It gives
Definitely tough. It's hard.
Yeah.
That's a hard one.
But
mate.
again, Elanga, Hudson-Odoi, on either wing,
Good players.
very threatening. But again, that player with that bit of extra quality just behind them, playing them balls, they might be lacking that in this game. I think they're going to play it like a pretty rigid, strong players in midfield. So you'll see like Yates, might even see Ward-Prowse in there for a bit of control if he's fit.
Yeah.
Who's the other lad that they've got in centre midfield?
I like Yates. He doesn't normally start him now. He plays the other geezer in there. I can't remember his name.
Man?
He's good though. I can't remember his name. It's not Daniel. That's the centre back. The other geezer in it. I'm thinking of the centre backs.
I have to see this now.
But yeah, Ryan Yates. Ryan Yates for me.
I think
Doesn't
they're
get
going to
credit.
try and overpower Fulham's midfield, and that's going to be their route to getting something from the game.
I think that's what they'll do as well because Fulham's midfield is quite slight and tricky.
Yeah.
But if you stick it on them, there's not really much place they can go in it. If you're not going to let someone spin you and just kick him and let him know you're there, they ain't going to like it. innit?
It was Anderson.
Anderson, that's it.
Anderson.
And from Newcastle, isn't it?
Yeah. So he's quite a big physical lad. Sangare's there as well.
Yes, he's very good at doing that job. So, and Fulham don't really have that player, if you get what I mean. Like, they don't have a Ryan
They had
Yates.
Paulinho.
They had him.
But yeah, they don't. Yeah, exactly. You're
They
right.
have
They
him
don't
now.
really have that destroyer. Well, Lukic is kind of
He's
you
all
can look at
right.
him
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
But they've got one compared to basically three.
Three, yeah, at Nottingham Forest.
I don't know. I think
We'll
that's
see,
how
mate.
they'll try and approach it. Just leave Wood up top, play Hudson-Odoi and Elanga, so 5 in midfield.
Try overpower them.
Yeah.
Makes sense, mate. Let's go on to the next one, where your team are playing. Wolverhampton
5:30.
Wanderers against Liverpool. This is going to be tough. I'll let you kick it off.
Why don't you kick it off?
I don't think it's going to be that hard for you.
No. Well, you never know, innit? I'm again confident in this team at the moment and the consistency that we're playing with. Even with switching out Darwin now for Jota in the last game. 1 goal off. Bournemouth should have scored. I probably should have had a correct score for that one.
Yeah.
But glad, obviously, we didn't because that's another clean sheet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go against it being a clean sheet. I'm going to go for my same score again. 3-1.
Bosh.
I could even see more, honestly, in this game. The way that Chelsea
Dismantle
swept aside
these lot.
Wolves,
Yeah.
they could be vulnerable to that if they feel like the game could still be there for the taking.
Yeah.
You
Definitely.
know what I mean? And especially at 2-2, you still think 3-2, okay, 4-2. Well, we scored 2 goals already. We can kind of probably make it back. 5-2, and then
Yeah,
the
he's getting
game's
smashed,
gone.
isn't it?
Yeah, 3-1. I think convincing victory
Mhm.
to back up last week.
Mhm.
And we just keep rolling on, mate.
Mate, this game for me is going to be like... This is probably one of the easiest games this week to predict for me. I've also said 3-1 Liverpool.
Bosh.
Because I still see Wolves scoring a goal.
Yeah.
You know as well as I do, to keep teams out, you have to have defences like ours or City's. And you lot just don't have that. It's like, I would love for you lot to have it.
I don't know.
But Wolves, you could do it. But I'm saying against big teams, you lot will struggle to keep them out just because of the way you play. I think Arne Slot is trying something here, but it's going to take a while to embed.
Yeah.
It's not going to be something that happens overnight. I can see a few fixtures where you go to Chelsea or you go to Man City, you go to Arsenal, you get beat big scores because you're trying to be like that team. I can see it. But this game for me, mate, I think the history between you and Wolves is they've beat you 22 times in the last 20 years. Like once at
We'll take that.
once
What
at
do you want?
Molineux, once at Anfield. So this game is like, for me, I can't see any issue here in it. Like I
I agree.
think you lot are too strong.
Yeah.
I think you're way too strong.
Consistency, people coming in, performing well, scoring goals, making
Yeah.
a difference.
Yeah.
Like we've said, is necessary.
Yeah. And your injury table's light.
That's what I'm saying.
You're one of the
It's-
lightest in the
yeah.
league right now. You've only got 2
Yeah.
injuries, and they're not really first-team players. Harvey Elliott, well, Alisson is.
Alisson, but again,
it's big
Kelleher
player.
comes in and he
Very
just
good.
it doesn't look much different at the same time. It looks like he learns a lot from Alisson.
Oh,
In the
definitely.
years that he's been with him.
He's got good
They're
saves.
very similar. They look very similar in what they do.
Yeah, there's the only thing he's not better at is distribution. Saving wise,
Yeah,
he's
of
brilliant.
course, yeah,
He's
yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Distribution and like that presence is the only thing. But you can't have that if you're not Alisson, innit?
Yeah.
But yeah,
That
both
can
of
come.
us, mate. 3-1.
Yeah.
Same score again. We've got
Confident.
3 of the same scores. On to the next one. Ipswich Town are hosting Aston Villa on the Sunday. Only one game at the end of the day on the Saturday at 5:30. There's not an 8 o'clock. Do you know why? Because we've got Monday back, mate.
First Monday night.
Yeah, mate.
Is it?
It
First
is, yeah. In a long, well, I think in a long time we haven't had one because there's been so many fixtures squeezed in.
Yeah.
I'll keep this short and sweet because I don't think this game is going to have too much to it, to be honest with you. Like I do always guess for Villa, I'm going 2-0 away from home. I think this is one of the games where I spoke about before, where a 2-0 for Villa is super convincing.
Mhm.
You don't need to push on. You don't need to overstretch. You don't need players to come on and try win the game last minute. You
Yeah.
can just score the 2 and chill, which
They
is
just
what...
need to quietly keep ticking over under the radar.
They have to stay under the radar.
Yes. They're
Yeah,
above us, mate.
100%.
They're doing very well.
I've gone with something slightly different. 4-1 Villa.
Bosh.
Convincing. Watkins taking his chances. Maybe a goal from midfield and a wide player, or even Duran coming off the bench because that geezer just looks fake. Like this season, Duran has been unbelievable.
Oh yeah, he's
some of the
got
goals that
some
he scored
crazy,
off the bench.
crazy goals.
And he's pushing Watkins. He's pushing Watkins hard for that place. Unless they can find a way to get both of them in the team. Or Watkins gets sold and signed to Arsenal or something. Duran's their strike. I don't know what they're planning at Villa at the moment, but it's a brilliant option to have coming off the bench.
Yeah.
And I think this could be a game that he could be given a chance to start in as well. Do you know what I mean? You could give him a chance to start in this game and just see what he does from the kickoff.
True. Some people struggle starting though.
Yeah.
Some people struggle, but Ipswich need to do more, man.
100%.
There's not enough players that are jumping out for me.
Yeah.
There's just not. Yeah, they need to get some results on. They need to get something going. It's not looking good.
It's a hard league. It's a very hard league. When you
It's
don't
not
spend a
looking
lot of money, you don't. I don't know. Maybe that there wasn't a lot of ex-Premier League players that they had in the like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, they
no,
weren't
no,
coming down like similar Leicester kinda ish,
Mm.
or going down with Premier League players coming back with them. You know. What I
Yeah,
mean?
it's a harder task. They've just come up, innit?
Yeah.
It's a hard task, but they're gonna have to. They're gonna have to start picking up points, and I don't think it's this game.
I don't think it's this game. I don't
think it's it.
We're always in for a shock in the Prem, of course.
That's true.
No one is out of the realms of possibility of getting beat by any team in this league.
No, very true.
But what's the odds for this one? Interesting. Wow, really?
Yeah, it's closer than I thought it would be, to be honest with you. But I think it's just because Ipswich are at home. But maybe the bookies know something we don't about
This is
Villa.
what I'm
innit?
saying. I don't know. Well, maybe just based on like Liverpool, Forest.
They should be 10-1.
It kind of maybe not, but like
They're at home though, innit? Away they might be 10-1.
Yeah, true.
But at
true.
home they're just giving them a bit more of a boost, innit?
Yeah.
The fans. Let's see, mate. On to the penultimate game. I love that word.
Get used to it. It's a fucking great word.
It's a great word. Manchester United against Tottenham at the stadium that's falling apart and don't look like it's getting any better anytime soon at Old Trafford. I'll let you kick this one off because my scoreline's hilarious.
It's the theatre of nightmares at the moment. I think that's what yours.
Not the theatre of dreams, mate.
Certainly not. Unless you dream about Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, unless your dreams are nightmares.
United, I don't know, man. But again, I kind of want to back United on this one, you know.
At home, I
Yeah.
don't see why you wouldn't want to.
And
I'm not, but yeah.
I think they'd be confident in beating Spurs, honestly. I think in other games, I don't know if they were confident they were going to beat us in the game. Obviously, we won 3-0 convincingly, but I don't know, man. But it's weird, as in like body language wise and stuff like that. Was there ever really that belief that they were going to run away with a result? I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't think so, to be honest with you. I honestly don't think so.
It's a strange bunch, honestly, that United have at the moment. You never really know what you're going to get with them. It's not very consistent, but they can easily win games like this and turn up in moments where you think like maybe Ten Hag is under a bit of pressure. I don't know. I don't really know right now in 6-game week. But they win these sort of games when it's absolutely necessary.
Oh, yeah.
Like winning the FA Cup against City. No one really gave them too much of a chance to beat City in that game.
Yeah.
But they still did it because they absolutely had to.
Yes.
Almost.
Yeah.
So I'm going with United on this game. It's going to be a close game. That's just how they play nowadays. I'm going with 2-1 United. I think Spurs might go in front, and United are going to have a turnaround.
Fair enough, mate.
Win it late on.
You're going to love my score because we both love United the same amount, which is not very much. I've gone 3-1 Spurs.
Bosh.
I honestly think Man United are going to get a red card and they're going to crumble. Because Spurs have the players for you lot to get annoyed. I'm telling you, Spurs are going to do it, mate. United
Spurs
don't
have
like...
just as many players to get sent off.
Oh, 100%.
Romero could be
Romero
sent
needs...
off in the first. Romero and Lissandro could both get sent off.
Oh, 100%.
In the first 30 minutes.
100%.
Scrap.
But I'm just backing Spurs. Their unit together is way more consistent to me than United. Ange Ball, not looking so good, to be honest with you. But neither's Den Ball.
Right.
So it's looking like it could go left here for United, to be honest with you. I'm hoping, not that I love Spurs or anything, but I'm hoping that it clicks for Maddison. They start playing passes around in the midfield and getting it through to Son. And hopefully that stupid geezer actually scores. What's his name when he got on the wing? Brennan Jota. Brennan Jota. Geezer's horrendous.
Fine. Well, you know what? It's bloody not good enough!
He needs to do something in it at Spurs. They keep playing him. Every week, start. So he needs to. He's the same as Martinelli right now. Yeah. He needs to do something in it. And I'm hoping that this is the week where it switches on and the geezer scores a screamer. But I'm seeing red cards here, innit? That's why I've gone for Tottenham.
It's fair.
I'm 3-1 Tottenham.
I could definitely see that, but I could see one for both of them.
Yeah.
Just a mad flare up and both people get sent off. Or a bad challenge happens from one person and the other team are just like, yeah, we're getting our own back. And they do the same thing a little while later.
Yeah, you're right. Both the centre backs are very feisty.
I'm just United at home. I'm backing them. Spurs can flake in these types of games against United away. So
yeah, we'll see, mate. I honestly think Spurs are going to do them. Innit? Their stadium's falling down, and everything else is crumbling.
They always play tight though. That's the only thing with United.
They do.
So that's the thing where I was like, I don't really see them losing 3-1. To be honest, I could see them losing, but in a tighter score at least.
They got pumped 3-0 by you lot, mate. It's like that's
we're not Spurs, man.
Oh yeah, you lot are way better than Spurs, but I just think this is a game, mate. I think we'll see.
Yeah.
We shall see. On to the last game of game week 6. Bournemouth against Southampton. This is quite a tricky one for me. Southampton have just come up. They don't look in the greatest shape, if I'm being very honest with you. They've got a few players who I like the look of, but can they actually do something that changes a whole game? I don't know, mate. Bournemouth, again, I like the look of Bournemouth's team. I didn't like the fact that they sold Solanke. I like the price tag, and I like the money they got for him, but I didn't like the fact that they sold him, just because of how good he played in that season. Now, Bournemouth board might know what we don't know, and it's the fact that season was a complete fluke. And he ain't going to get them numbers again or get anywhere near that level again, which is why they've cashed in. Or they're trying to build something else with the money that they've got. But I can't see what they're building yet. Do you get what I mean? So it's a tough one in terms of what they're going to do with that money and how they're going to replace them goals. They've started off okay. I think they will beat Southampton. I think they'll just have just a bit too much for them, which is why I've gone Bournemouth 2-0. I don't even think the Saints will score.
I've gone with Bournemouth as well. Manager won't be in the dugout for Bournemouth. Got a red card in the last game against us. That can sometimes affect teams, weirdly. But I'm still going with, because this is a derby as well.
Yes.
I'm going with 3-1 Bournemouth, honestly. In this game.
Bosh.
South Coast derby.
South Coast, not too much to be said, honestly. I just, like you said,
We say 2-1.
3-1.
3-1.
Bournemouth, good team. Honestly, they created a lot of problems for us, and the 3-0, this scoreline is convincing, but the game wasn't really, to be honest, and caused a lot of problems for us at home. So they can take positives from that game. It can happen. You don't take your chances. The other team do. It can be 3-0 and it looks like you got battered. You know what I mean? But I think this is what they would do to Southampton this time and get it back. So 3-1.
Easy, mate. That sums everything up. We're done. Game week 6.
Yeah.
All over. Some good games in there.
Definitely.
A few hard ones as well. But definitely a few good games in there. United, Spurs.
Yeah.
I like Newcastle City. And I honestly think that Everton Palace game might be alright, you know? Just because.
At least it will start and end well, because
Yes.
Newcastle City will be good.
Yes.
And this game I actually think will be good Monday night under the lights.
Monday Night Football, mate.
Always something different.
It is. It's very, very
different
true.
atmosphere and stuff like that.
It's very, very true.
But yeah, interesting games for sure, as always. Thank you for tuning in, wherever you're tuning in from. We'll see you again next week. Take care.